Hi, this is Andre from S&S Diesel Motorsport. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your input and output resources on the MoTeC M1 ECU. The first thing that you should do is make a list of all of the sensors that you are going to use in the car, and then you need to assign those to an input in the ECU. So the ECU has 6 analog temperature inputs, 17 analog voltage inputs, a handful of low side controls, some other analog voltage inputs, a few half bridge outputs, and some speed inputs, universal digital inputs. So once you have that list created, now you can assign the sensors in the ECU itself. So the easiest way to do this is go to Tools, Edit Input Output Resources, and now here is all of the sensors that you can possibly assign in the ECU. And you can go through the list and assign them to their proper input. So the first one we got here, analog temperature input 1, inlet manifold temp. So we're going to go to inlet. Let's see, we've got inlet air temperature sensor resource. And that's going to be analog temperature input 1. So we're going to select that right there. Now I can move on to rail pressure sensor. So that's going to be fuel, primary pressure, direct bank 1 sensor resource. So that's analog voltage input 1. We're going to do the drop down, analog voltage input 1, select. The accelerator pedal is voltage 2, so we're going to go down to throttle, pedal sensor main resource. The drop down, analog voltage 2. Next one is inlet manifold pressure. So we'll go up to inlet manifold pressure sensor resource. It's going to be analog voltage 3. So now that pretty much sums up on how to do your input-output assignment on the MoTeC M1 ECU. Just to do like an output 1, let's say you have low side ignition 1. Let's say that's going to be controlling a relay for nitrous, or maybe nitrous kit 1. So we'll go to nitrous kit 1 resource. And you can see that's set up for low side ignition 1 already. And that's how you assign a function to an output or an input in the MoTeC M1 ECU. If you ever get lost in this process, you can always just go back to your normal M1 setup. You can open up each tab and go into it like this, like kit 1 output resource. That is what we are assigning. So like engine, oil pressure sensor resource, not in use. So let's see what our workbook says in Excel. Engine oil pressure sensor, that's analog voltage input 4. So we'll put that back down. Analog voltage input 4, and that assigns it. Then anytime that you change a resource assignment, or if it has this little flag by it, you have to send that to the ECU before it takes the change. So we'll send that to the ECU. Now it's connected and we're getting a voltage reading. So we just want to make sure the translation is correct, and that's how you do your input-output assignment.